Ladies and gentlemen, the time is 6:16 p.m. and we are going to go ahead and call to order the special city council study meeting for June 3rd, 2026. The meeting is called to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Byron Nolan. Mayor Pro Tem Stephen Chisholm.
Present.
Councilwoman Rutledge, excused. Councilman Bishop.
Present.
Councilwoman Scott will be here shortly. Councilwoman Howard. Here. Councilwoman Richardson. Here. Mayor Pro Tem, you do have a quorum.
Thank you. Moving right along down to item number 3, approval of the agenda. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
So moved. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Darren Carrington, Treasurer, study session of fiscal year 2027 budget. Mr. Carrington, I yield the floor to you.
Thank you. Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
So just wanted to kind of do two things. One is pick up where we left off last week. We were on the, we had gotten through the police budget. I did want to circle back and discuss one item that has come up within the administration over the past week or two. We've had some clarification on that. And then before we get into that, I did have a few responses from last meeting. Just wanted to go over those. I'm kind of collecting these responses to give them to you at the end of the study session. I can share these with you if you want, but we just had a few items, a few questions from last time. One was about the pilots. The second was about the budget, the memberships out of the city council budget that were being paid for, and then a question about the cybersecurity grant. And so right now we've got 4 pilots that we're collecting on, and I think we may have covered three if not all 4 of these. So that's Thompson Towers, Cherry Hill Square, Cherry Hill Family Apartments, I believe it is, and then the State of Michigan building, the HHS department, I think that's Department of Social Services on Michigan Avenue. And Jerome, remind me again, Cherry Hill Square, is that the one on Henry Ruff?
Yeah, that's one at 213 Henry Road.
And then Cherry Hill Family,
That's the one on Middleville and Cherry Hill.
okay.
So we have Cherry Hill Family also, did you say?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Mm-hmm. Right here.
I know you did mention this, but for the pilot, how long, or is it for life?
So generally, they are for a set period of time. On average, it's like 30 to 40 years. I wasn't able to locate the contracts, but I'm trying to get that cleared because I know that was the second question about the length of it. And so I'm going to continue to research our records to see what exactly is the period of time for those, because again, the research that I found is that generally those are considered contracts and they do have a defined period for them.
Okay. Thank you.
Are you through with that?
Yes.
The DSS building, is that the one that's on Michigan near,
Down the street from me.
down the street from me?
Yeah.
From the fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's
That's both.
Bogey's building, yes.
Who?
Mr. Ron Bogey developed that.
Secretary of State, Justice Center,
Oh. Really? So all of these have leases, I take it? Is that what we're talking about?
well, Justice Center is under the tip.
Justice Center,
It's under the tip.
Tiffin.
yeah,
Secretary of State, they lease it from both.
from Bogie.
Yeah, Bogey's the landlord. And the building on Michigan Avenue, Bogey's the landlord.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I learn something new every day. Okay. All right, thank you, hon. That's all I have.
Then the next item was about the memberships that were being paid for out of the city council. So we have 4 that have been paid. First is Michigan Municipal League, the MML. Then we have the National League of Cities. We have the Conference of Western Wayne, and SIMCOG are the ones that are paid out of that account.
Repeat it, please.
Michigan Municipal League, National League of Cities, Conference of Western Wayne, and SIMCOG.
That's another one that I forgot about that needs to know what our
Email.
emails changed to. CWW, Conference of Western Wayne.
And then lastly, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't have any.
Lastly was just a question about the cybersecurity. So there are 3 main items for that. Migration to the .gov emails, some cyber risk training for IT professionals as well as city employees, and then we're also budgeting for a full refresh of computers for city employees. Out of that, that was on the list of grants that we reviewed last week. Okay, as I mentioned, we had gone through the PD budget. Did want to circle back at the next council meeting. The administration is going to be submitting a proposal, and I believe there will be a demonstration for, it's a company called Flock. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, if you've had any, exposure to that, read about it, heard about it. But it's a type of security, information technology, cameras, different type of data and the like that is used by a number of communities, not only across state of Michigan, but across the country. And so, as I said, they're going to be here on your next meeting for June 15th. Administration is going to be proposing a specific arrangement with them. It's going to be a multi-year agreement for us to purchase this equipment that they proposed, and the first year would be, for the upcoming fiscal year, would be $76,000. But we'll be having more details of that, I guess, next week when we get the agenda set and have the proposed agreement presented to council.
I'm glad you brought that up because I know looking at the old contract, we must have been at like some type of super low entry level, because that rate versus what it's going up to now, and I'm assuming it's far more advanced.
For sure.
And then we had a grant from the government too that paid that.
Coming for the cameras?
Yeah.
For the license plate
That's what that
cameras?
was, just for the installation and stuff?
Yeah, just
Okay.
for, that was just specifically for that. So this is a much more expansive, comprehensive type of service. It involves the cameras. It involves, what are those things that drones. It involves drones. I believe like gunshot detection equipment and software. So it's a much more robust offering that's being proposed here.
Gotcha.
And so, again, the idea is to bring that. The first year impact is going to be $76,000. After that, it's going to be about $240,000 annually for a few years to pay off all of this technology.
So that's coming out of the police department budget? Or?
Yeah, so we would be looking to add $76,000 to the PD budget. We will be working on some grants for payments of the following years, because this is a couple $1 million obligation that we're talking about. So we would be looking to secure some grant funding for this. But again, the plan is to present this and move forward with it at the beginning of the next fiscal year.
Quick clarification. So you said the startup
is 76,000, or the police budget requires an additional 76,000?
Yeah, so 76,000 is year one. So we would propose adding that to the budget. We didn't have that included in the budget last week. And so we would be proposing to add an additional $76,000 to cover year one of this contract.
Basically the startup.
Exactly, yeah. So that's for fiscal year '27. Following years is gonna be about 240,000 per year.
Per year.
Per year.
Does that number include like the current, I know there's currently flock, like, license plate readers in the city. Is that like on top of the current, like,
You know, I
lease, or is that like incorporated in there?
yeah, Councilwoman, I honestly don't know if that's, if that's gonna be adding to what the ones that we already have. I believe the ones that we already have were just for like more of a demonstration, a short time. So I don't think, we're gonna be keeping those. I believe the contract will be replacing those, the ones that we currently have. 'Cause my understanding that was for, and I don't know, Mayor Pro Tem, if you recall, but my understanding that was kind of a limited demonstration type of project.
I'll have to look back at that, contract, because I was under the impression at that time that was just, that was the system at that time, getting it and, being a member of it, but understand the technology, it enhances overnight. Because all the stuff that you kind of sort of alluded to this evening, none of that was even available at that particular time. It was literally the black poles with the solar cameras on it. Yeah. But seeing the demonstration that they gave and the maneuvering and everything like that, I'm like, our cameras can't do that. But that was something they didn't even, have as far as a presentation a couple years ago. So this had to have been some type of entry level startup.
Okay.
Get you there, and then you know how they do with the cell phones,
Right,
everything else.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it was like, if it was already incorporated in that price, so if it was like, we're already spending, let's say, 100,000 already on flock, then we're just kind of adding an extra X to that initial bill that we're already paying.
Yeah,
It's
well-
just to kind of try to help.
We'll have that clarified next week with the with the proposal and everything. So.
And I know, like, Chief is not here, but, just kind of like talking about her budget, I know she's doing things to also cut her budget, like to kind of help offset some of these other asks, like, I'll let her mention it, but like, I think you got your take-home car request done, Councilwoman Howard, yeah, I think she's doing that and like just other stuff. like
Yeah.
that To kind of help.
Yep. So we did. As Councilwoman Scott was alluding to about the take-home cars, we did, over the last couple of weeks, take a look at specifically the people in police that were taking home city vehicles. None of these were really new vehicles. A lot of these were more of our older vehicles, but to just kind of better manage the program, I believe it was 6 or 7 vehicles that we made a decision to not, keep at city ownership. So the idea is to liquidate those. We offer them to the employees because they are using them in their line of responsibilities. But a couple of things: one, they're taking them home, we're paying for the gas, and we have some liability because they're covered by the city. So, they do have the opportunity to purchase those vehicles. And the ones that are not wanted by those employees, we're probably going to auction those off. The focus is on, I think, more so than the sale, because some of these are not really that valuable just because of the mileage and how old they are. But we won't have the maintenance and the gas and the liability with it.
That's a good savings.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they used to do auctions and stuff back in the day, and they made a lot of money.
Yeah. So I think the idea is to, go that
Bought
route.
them fur coats there, girlfriend. But they had a lot that they had confiscated doing raids.
Mm-hmm.
And it was big. I
Yeah.
mean, it was huge, so.
Definitely.
That would help,
definitely.
see, and they did it every year.
Yeah, yeah.
Question on the security cam, are these like body cams or?
No, so these are cameras that are kind of posted around the city, and they're, you know, they're may not notice them, but they are around in a lot of communities. Once you become aware of them, you'll start to recognize them a lot more. But they're just kind of on the street, and the way that it works is that it allows the police department, if a crime is committed and they say, oh, you know, we suspect it was, you know, X type of vehicle, certain color, they can then, because basically these cameras will cover the entire city.
Okay.
So they're able to say, okay, we saw this vehicle at this location, and then they drove over here, and if they go to a neighboring community that also has that, you can then, you know, continue to follow them. And so it's you know, not body cams, but it's basically stationing cameras around the city to provide the ability to record, you know, crime or record crimes or whatnot, vehicles and the like. Because basically, I think it's kind of a license plate reader type of technology.
I do want to add, we borrow other cities, like, stuff already. So, like, we utilize their drones, like license plate readers. Like, I think every city around us except Wayne has this system as well.
Yeah.
Do our officers wear body cams?
Yes. Yes.
Darren, real quick, as far as on here, I know we circle back to police. Are we under, what is this, 301?
Yes.
For appropriations?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. So that was the update that we wanted to provide, along with what was the other thing? So I think that was it. Like I said, we'll be looking to update that that category for the flock in line with the upcoming presentation and everything. Okay. That's $76,000.
All right, so Darren, let's go ahead and take a brief recess real quick.
Where's our food?
I just said. We're gonna take a brief recess real quick.
And ask them for something to eat.
And
You know what, you are fine.
entertain
Put
the
it on tape.
appetites, and we'll be right back.
I ain't hangry.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, this the new one? Oh, that's yours.
So are we ready?
Yes, sir. We
Wanted to
are.
pick up with the fire department. That's going to be Fund 301.
301?
I'm sorry, 337.
371?
337.
337? Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, that's the very next page.
The game.
337 under appropriations.
Then you got an hour and a half for the game start.
I know, right?
Already told you.
And so we got to account for
We got
getting there.
We got the TVs. We had to cut the budget off the TV and put the game.
Got to account for getting there. But the first category is our salaries. As I mentioned last week, we are in negotiations with all of our four unions here, 2 police, 1 fire, and 1 DPS and some city hall employees. And so anything that's negotiated in the contract for the first year is not included here. We didn't make any assumptions about what may be added, what may or may not be added in terms of salary increases. So essentially what you're seeing here is funding the same number of positions at the same rate. So if there are any changes, we'll need to add that in either before the budget is adopted, or more likely via some budget amendment after, when the contract is adopted. I did just want to let Chief speak to kind of the current staffing levels and what's budgeted and where you are from a current staffing position.
Currently, we are fully staffed, 21 uniform firefighters, first time in 2 years now, so that's good. 80% of my budget is towards the defined benefits that they get, whether it's through the salaries or their contractual benefits as well. My operating budget is typically for vehicle maintenance, building supplies, equipment, all my high-priced items as far as vehicles go. Fortunately, we've been able to get grants for those, so fire engine, rescue, all of their turnout gear, SCBA, so all their critical equipment, and also the highest price equipment has been purchased through grants. So again, my largest numbers are for their contractual benefits.
So, thank you. So we've got $1.475 million that's budgeted for salaries, and then we have $125,000 in overtime. Right now, we're tracking a little bit below the 1.475 because from a budgeting standpoint, we generally just put in there the number of budgeted positions at the full term rate. And so anytime there's a vacancy, if someone leaves and it takes time for them to be replaced, that will mean during the over the course of the fiscal year, we'll end up a little bit below. But again, we are budgeting for those same number of positions at the current rate, and so the rate as of this current fiscal year. Overtime is tracking pretty well, as it has over the last several years. And so we're maintaining that same assumption there. We've got a few items in there for Social Security. We've got some insurance, and then going down. And I did, in reviewing this last week, there was one update. The pension number, that should be 640 instead of just 40,000. For the pension, that's going to be 101-337-7108. Right now, I think your numbers show 40,000. That should be 640,000. Yes.
Okay, up under the holiday pay, you don't have anything projected, but it's recommended, so it's over.
So I think we had a similar situation with the police. I think it's the way in which the pay codes have been entered from a payroll standpoint. With us moving up to BS&A payroll, I'm going to make sure that we are coding everything correctly. I think, and And as we go through, we're kind of digging into those costs. But I think it's just a matter of it not, when we pay that out, us not putting it into the correct code.
Okay.
So each holiday pay has a specially assigned GL account. And when we paid it out, if we didn't put it into that GL account, it would have been captured somewhere else. We paid it out, it just wouldn't be, we generally track it separately. And if it's not put into the right GL code from a payroll standpoint, we won't see that. That may be something that gets cleaned up during the audit, but like I say, for us going forward, we'll just make sure that those GL codes are assigned correctly.
Okay.
So as I mentioned, we've got the pension. That number is 640, and that's why the totals are off from last year to this year, because basically because of that $600,000 there. And then we've got clothing allowance, ALS. These are all contractual bonuses. Advanced life support, or ALS. Clothing allowance is another bonus that the firefighters will receive. And then we've got some smaller categories for office supplies. Is that supplemental community emergency response? Can you speak to that?
That's for our Western Wayne Mutual Aid Association that we're a part of. We are required to have a member on the urban search and rescue team, as well as the hazmat team. So anytime there's an incident anywhere in Wayne County, doesn't matter where, every department in Western Wayne will have an individual or multiple individuals on that team to respond to those locations.
Okay.
So there's a annual fee for having, for being a part of that Western Wayne Association.
Can we go back real quick to the advanced life support? Because I know that kind of.
So that's, again, that's a contractual issue, and it's changed to an education bonus. And what's the education bonus is, so there's a handful of individuals at the fire department that are maintaining their paramedic license, and the cost to maintain their paramedic license with the amount of CEs you have to have, the amount, and you have to take these classes off duty. They don't get paid overtime to do it. So the ones that have paramedic licenses are the ones that get the education bonus.
Gotcha. So that is, excuse me, this title, advanced life support, that's directly tied to them, not necessarily the rig.
Correct. At this time it is, yes.
Okay.
We're basic, so we used to have paramedics, everybody,
Yeah, that's why I was looking at that. Yeah.
And again, we are still looking into that. It's gonna take a little time, but I have not let that go. We are gonna try and get back.
it's just tough. I mean, it's not just us. It's,
No,
you know,
it's not.
So a lot of people don't have that now? A lot of fire?
you can't find them.
Can't find paramedics,
Period.
you know.
Wow.
So a lot of the guys that have the license are maintaining it because they're extremely marketable.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Was that it, Mayor Pro Tem?
For me, yeah. Anybody else? I'm sorry.
So there's no grants or anything available to help with,
So we have gotten some grants for equipment over the past couple years. We are currently working on a FEMA grant for staffing, is my understanding.
So we have two that I'm currently working on. The AFG, I'm trying to get another rescue, so it's about $450,000. And the SAFER grant, which is for manpower. So we're looking at an additional 6 personnel. But there is a caveat to that. There is a cost share to it. If we can get a cost share waiver, which we can apply for, if we get awarded that cost share waiver, we will absolutely apply for the SAFER, for the manpower. If we don't get that cost share, it just becomes too expensive to pay for those additional personnel.
Yep.
But we are absolutely, there's an AFG grant, assistance of firefighters, and we are applying for another rescue. So we have received grants for a new engine. And this is within the last 2 years. A new engine, a new rescue, brand new turnout gear, brand new SCBA's, and we're working on radios right now. So all of our main equipment has been purchased through grants.
Wow.
The radios that you were talking about, is those the same radios that the police are getting, the upgraded ones?
Correct.
Okay.
And then also, I think, longer term, we're trying to address the fire station. So we've been working on that, trying to identify multiple sources of funding. We don't believe necessarily one person's going to fully underwrite that. So we've been trying to, put together a package of different funding sources at state, federal, and private sources. So I don't know if you want to kind of give a quick update on what's been going on with that.
So yeah, we're moving along with that. We had just presented to the state. Again, as the treasurer mentioned, we're looking at multiple funding sources. And we are receiving feedback regularly from different individuals, and it has been positive so far. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that we will be able to get a new station. We're looking at the same place, same spot, possibly a larger footprint though. So.
Yes, you saw your fire chief testifying in front of the committee up in Lansing.
Oh, we're going to put that up.
Yeah, you gotta
Put
put
on the
that
public
up.
access channel.
Give me that one.
We need Tree Canada. You say he got money, call me.
Just out of curiosity, what's the dollar amount for?
7 million
Well,
worth?
approximately 7 million is what we were looking at. And that's just going off of what basically Westland has been able to build with their funds. We're looking at 7 million. And that's not only, the perfect size station for us, but as well as training equipment and training grounds. So, and then obviously with the library right there, it opens up for the community, and it's just, definitely be a good thing for the city.
I still harp on, just because when I was at the state in Garden City, it was right before COVID hit and the state snatched every funding source back. Their main thing was they were receiving the funds, and the main thing they had put into theirs was to, can't think of the term, but they were renovating it to make it for male and female, because it was primarily male for all these years, and they had a female fire chief. So that's something we're looking at doing too?
Absolutely. There's so many different things that we're looking at right now, especially where our technology is nowadays. Obviously, our fire station was built in the late 70s, early 80s. So
Wow.
the amount of things that we are aware of now with the hazards of, every time you're at a fire, all that's coming back to you at the station, right? So there's off-gassing, so you have to have hot zones, cold zones, different extractors for cleaning your equipment, for cleaning your vehicles, and absolutely, there's gonna be facilities for men, for women,
Yeah.
everything, so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Go right ahead.
can you go back up to the employee health contributions? Because I'm having a brain freeze. Why are they in the negative all the time?
So that's the amount that we that we take out of the employee's paycheck. So basically, under the state law, employees have to contribute a certain amount of the healthcare costs. So the way that we generally are required to reflect it, they want us to show how much the employee has withheld from their check to go towards medical coverage. So it's a situation where we're paying for the coverage, but part of that coverage is covered by the employee, and we take that out of their paycheck.
Okay.
So that's why it's shown at, it's a negative amount because it's used to offset the expense from the city's
Okay.
perspective.
All right, thank you.
So I think that is, kind of what's going on there. We've, and Chief K touched upon a couple of the, vehicles and our approach to the building. I mean, for the last year, couple years, and for next year, our approach is to try and offset some of the larger ticket items for asset acquisition, for like maintenance, repairs, HVAC, those types of things. We're trying to identify sources outside of the general fund so that we can use the general fund resources, one, to fund the operating costs, the day-to-day costs, and then leave the bigger ticket items for some of the grants and the like that we're getting. So that's why we're not, fortunately for the last year or two, we haven't had to put a lot of money into to some of the larger assets, building and the like. We do have some things that we'll be proposing for City Hall, but for some of the other things, fire, police, I mentioned about the flock, trying to seek funding for that. Some of the things going on at the rec center, we've been focusing those efforts on trying to get funding for that, because by and large we don't have the internal revenue to cover those expenses.
Okay.
So then, just going through the rest of the budget for fire at department number 337. Again, we just have some of the other categories that they use for operations there: medical supplies, the building maintenance, our equipment. And building maintenance is those are just a small ticket item. There are some pretty serious capital needs at the building, but these are just kind of smaller ticket items that they use just to kind of literally keep the lights on over there. And then we've got vehicle maintenance, repairs, and education and training, which I think is really the bulk of what is going on there within the department. Any questions for fire? Not, we'll keep moving. Next is 371, which is our building department. And as a reminder, our building department is largely contracted out to Buccelli. They run the building department. They take a certain percentage of the revenues as part of the contract. We do have one city employee who is still on our books. On a month-to-month basis, Buccelli will deduct the cost of that employee from their consulting revenues. So that's why you see the employee there. That's the one employee that we have that's again still on our books, but Buccelli is covering that as part of the contract with them.
So Darren, do you, I know at one time we had it in-house.
Mm-hmm.
So is it still cost saving by having it farmed out because of the legacy, the health care and all that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the thing is, one is that, the buildings department revenues are restricted.
Correct.
And so, even if we save money on that, we can't spend it, elsewhere.
Okay.
So the idea is just to, and on top of that, and we are doing this, we should have our rates set at it's not supposed to be a for-profit thing. It's supposed to, cover the cost. And so the idea is to have a department that can be done efficiently, effectively. We don't want to stand in the way of anybody trying to get the permits. We want to make that be as smooth a process as possible. So I think in that regard, just given how much of a challenge it is to find a building official, inspectors, people who know how to run a department, then we can also leverage other employees within Buccelli. Particularly given the fact that those revenues are restricted. So if it was like, well, we could save $100,000 doing this and put it into police or fire, but we can't do that. And so I think the argument is that we just want to run the department as effectively as possible. And I think that's being done.
Because how many employees we had in there at one time before we? Because that was I'm not sure how many we had at one time.
Because if you got them part-time inspectors, it could be 4, 5, 6 of them.
Okay.
Along with the building official and
Carolyn's out. She's just had surgery.
Yes, she's on leave right now.
She'll be out for a while. Then she'll be working from home for a while until she rehabs.
Okay.
Then she'll come back.
Okay.
So all of those costs are associated with that. By and large, they generally will cover the other expenses. We do have costs in there for office supplies because that is kind of the city's responsibility. But again, by and large, we're looking at the cost of the employee, And then the remaining stuff is covered by the consultant, Buccelli.
Okay.
Any questions on that? Okay, next we have 373. What is that? You've been here the longest. And we are working on adding those names. I know that was one item that was pointed out.
Board up and cleanups is just, is at the end, so is that
Bill for,
The hell is 373?
What, 373?
yeah.
What was that?
No, I was just saying, she said, the clerk was saying, after I said board ups and cleanups, it's like the last item in that 373, she was showing that it's being taken out of, projected wise.
That's in 441.
Isn't that part of, I thought it was part of the.
Oh, it's also in 441, because it's in 373.
373?
page before.
373,
Yeah, so y'all, this is moving completely out of 373, it's gonna be solely a 471.
I don't know what 373 is. I know what 441 is.
Or 441.
I thought 373, he just said it was public, it was the building department, it's not?
No, 371 was building.
Where we put board ups?
Mm-hmm.
What category we put board ups? Huh?
That's not in my budget.
Okay.
You got a lot of money.
Salaries, yeah.
No, I got a lot of budget.
I know.
This is,
We
we on
need
the
a loan from
441 now?
For what side?
We on 441 now?
we don't
373.
373.
You don't know what it is, what,
I'm gonna,
He's getting ready to pull it up.
Ghost department.
shouldn't have fed me.
Must be like with the government, that's something in the Pentagon that they don't, it's there, but you don't get to discuss it.
Top secret.
Yeah.
Department of Chardon.
Special projects, she's her own. She might be under me.
Oh, okay. Code enforcement.
Okay.
Should have knew that. Okay, so 373 is our code enforcement. It's kind of operationally, it's works out of up under the police department, out of the police department. So we've got, I believe it's 2 full-time and 2 part-time, 3 full-time and 1 part-time.
You said 3 full-time?
Yeah, so we have the code enforcement supervisor, our animal control officer, a code enforcement officer, and then 1 part-time.
In Sunland part-time, right now.
So those are the employees that are staffed out of there. I think we, we did not. So I was just thinking, so we did not make any budgetary slots for the animal shelter. So the animal shelter is going to be getting started at the beginning of the upcoming fiscal year. We had that contract before you guys, I want to say March or April, I want to say. And so it's going to be down on Trowbridge, but I believe it won't be completed and up and running until, we just had our kind of initial meeting a week ago, but I believe we're probably looking at a 12-month timeline. And it's a ground-up building that we're talking about, so there aren't any costs tied to the building operationally in this year's budget.
Is this gonna be up under the code enforcement or the police department?
Well, I just thought about it because of the animal control. We have the animal control officer. How we fund that, I think it's an open question. I don't think we've really made a determination. You know, the discussion is to have some of this staff with volunteers, but we expect there will need to be some paid staff for that. But we haven't made that determination of, you know, where they're going to be. Is it going to be a standalone department up under police, code enforcement? Exactly how all that would work.
Okay.
But I did want to just bring up that we don't have any operational costs in the budget for that.
So, the animals were going out of the city at first, right?
To Romulus.
To Romulus. So now we're bringing them back, we're picking that back up.
So, and Mary,
Yeah, we lost they canceled the contract last year. So we've been keeping these animals in the police station.
So that's when I drive by, they walking animals out?
They've been in our bays. So the bays we have for cars, that's where the animals are. And, so we're walking them, cleaning them, feeding them.
Yeah, okay.
Not appropriate place for the animals. Luckily, we're gonna get this thing built. But the Romulus canceled us kind of suddenly and said, hey, you can't bring your animals here anymore. We were like, whoa, what are we supposed to do?
Man, something like 30 a month for that one.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But I think they needed the space, or maybe they had somebody else who was gonna pay more. I'm not sure. It was all shaky. I called the mayor over there and it was all gray. I didn't get a straight answer why they canceled the contract.
So who else that's around here that's have animal shelter?
Oh,
Over the Westland, don't they?
Westland, they have a humane society over there, and I think they got a shelter too. But nobody wants to take because they have so many animals,
They have so many.
So, ours won't be big enough probably to have too many contracts with other communities either. Because we have to have some room for the veterinarian to spay and neuter and take care of the animals that are injured, and then we got to house the ones until we find a home for them. And us not doing a no-kill shelter, it sounds good, but it takes more resources.
Yes, it
Oh yeah. If you say kill, it'd be a recall.
Yes. So how many off the rack, how many do you have over there now?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't want to mess with them animals. You want to go? We can go there afterwards. You want to check? We'll go pet the dogs.
I want a dog, I want a
You
new
want
dog.
one? They adopt them all the time.
I want a new dog.
I've seen them walk, and I said,
They gotta be trained.
okay.
I got two-year-old, little granny, I don't wanna be changing them, But I want another dog,
All righty.
I do.
okay, excuse me. So that's pretty much it for 373. Like I said, it's really just the code enforcement team that's we fund those salaries out of there. Everything else operationally is done out of they work out of police. All the other costs are captured within that department.
Okay, so during the overtime, is that because they have to work on Saturdays and Sundays, or they like around the clock? Is that?
Yeah, it might be they work for whatever reason during their past their regularly scheduled hours, or it might be something on overtime. I know they also have to spend time in court.
Okay.
So. Okay, next is our 441, which is the general fund for public services. So we have two employees that are allocated here out of the DPS team. DPS is going to be between general fund. We got two employees here, and then obviously in the water fund and then in the road funds. But we have two employees that are. We kind of refer to it as building services, and that's to give us the ability to deploy them around city-owned facilities. So that includes City Hall, Recreation Center, the Justice Center, Fire Department. If there's some type of repairs or maintenance, we have them available to address those issues. Because otherwise we're having to call in outside people anytime the need arises. So we find that it's just more efficient and more cost effective to have dedicated employees that can serve in that role and that can also do other stuff with DPS when it's necessary. And so that's the $80,000 in salaries that you see there. The other big thing we have there is the tree trimming and lawn maintenance. That's a lot of that is for our grass cutters out of that category. So that's going to be the vacant lots that we hire some outside vendors to handle for us. That's a big emphasis for us, is to handle the grass cutting. of these lots and everything. And then we have some weed cutting. Remind me again the difference between the tree trimming and weed cutting?
Oh, tree trimming covers the vacant lots and vacant homes. Weed cutting covers my guys when we have to go out and cut stuff.
Okay.
That's for in-house.
Yes, so that's more the in-house stuff. So as Jerome was saying, so weed cutting, so the tree trimming, lawn maintenance, excuse me, that's going to be for outside contractors. The weed cutting is going to be for our team when we have to use them. If they have to cut City Hall, if they're cutting parks and the like, we will cover their costs outside of that, because that's time that's being taken away from them from roads and water. Then we have our board ups and cleanups. Board ups are going to be, just that when we have to board up a home or some place of business.
Yeah, those line items right there are part of the mayor's budget, but they're in my budget. Those are discretionary funds that I go with the mayor with every year. Okay. He determines if he wants to keep them or eliminate them.
Keep what?
Keep them or eliminate them. Those are outside contractors that do that board up and clean up. So I go, those serve at the pleasure of the mayor. So I talked to him about that, and we look at the numbers, and he says, okay, we'll continue this off for this year. Or he said, no, we're not going to do it this year. Yeah, but he says every year, yes. So that was put in probably, was that your first term, Mr. Mayor? Yeah, his first term, we determined to do that.
Yes, about the tree trimming. Now, that's city property, so is that the homes with the trees that's in the medium?
No, that comes out of my road fund budget.
Your road
because
fund.
That's local and major roads, so that comes out of my road fund budget, which is $100,000. When we get to that, you'll see $100,000 in there for that.
Oh, okay. So that's entirely.
This covers grass cutters. This covers our contractors for cutting vacant homes and vacant lots.
Vacant.
Right. Around the city.
Yeah, so it's a lot of it are city-owned properties, or it may be properties that are not yet owned by the city, but they're vacant. And so we, just want to make sure that we're cutting it so that they don't become eyesores and nuisance. And so we, it's a combination of properties that are owned by the city or lots that are not, actively being maintained for whatever reason.
And DPS took care of that lot that Sandra King was complaining about. It's clear.
Oh, it's clean, that's good.
It looks good. It looks good.
Who poisoned the dogs those over there?
Yeah, I seen that.
You did what?
Somebody poisoned a resident's 2 dogs.
Two dogs.
Those 2 pit bulls you talking about? Yeah.
In the bed.
They did.
No.
The ones he just talked about?
Yeah, where'd you hear that?
I don't know if
On
those
Facebook.
Oh, I'm not on
They took
Facebook.
pictures of them.
That's why I didn't see him
They were
yesterday.
poisoned.
Y'all think 1 or 2 guys who talked about it implicated?
That's what I'm asking. Like, they just brought them up Monday, and then y'all talking about.
Coincident, and then she showed pictures of her dead dogs on
Yeah, 'cause I was over there Tuesday.
Yeah.
Mafia.
6:30.
Gangster. That's what I would do. Come complain about it and go kill it.
See, and then you want some oil. See?
That's what we gonna look at.
Right. We need to do an investigation.
They said they're gonna call it TV, so you better be prepared.
People love calling the news. Boy.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you.
Wow.
And so this happened after Monday's meeting?
Yes, it
Wow.
did.
Wow.
Yeah, 'cause when I went over there Tuesday, it was about 6:30 in the morning when I took those pictures.
Yeah.
I didn't see them dogs.
Wow.
Dog's dead. She got pictures of them.
Wow.
So the next item is street lighting. That's cost, with DTE for all of our street lights. Years ago, we did an upgrade, or we did a couple phases, 2 or 3 phases to upgrade to LED. Our recent bills are averaging just around about $60,000 a month. We've had some high activity, and we've done some digging on that. Think some of that was just late, some over bills that had not been paid. And so as we go through the audit process, we'll just be making sure that those are matched up to the correct fiscal year. But we have confirmed that again, we're right around $60,000 a month. That's going to vary because some months, obviously during the winter, we've got, street lights are going to be on longer than they are during the summer. But, we think that $750 is a sufficient amount to capture the cost there. But again, we're trying to sort out exactly how much of this activity is going to be attributed, because we did have, that 1.25 million in FY25. Some of that may get moved to another year, or maybe moved to a different category. But we are not tracking at that high of an amount. The capital outlay that you see there that's tied to the, I believe that's for the senior center. You see there's 1.617 million in 25-26. Generally, we don't have anything, but for purposes of the grant that we have, even though it's being done on behalf of the Commission on Aging for the seniors, the city is the fiduciary for that, and so we're reflecting those numbers in our within our budget here. But that those dollars are being offset by a grant. And then lastly, we've got $50,000 in capital improvements for things to get done around City Hall.
Hey, Darren,
Yes.
did you have our copies, or you just?
Page 10, I got mine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
special,
Let me.
yours is colored too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah,
Good to
Well,
be
he
the
gets
king.
special treatment.
that's what I know, that's what I
That's what I'm
want to know.
talking about. See, that's
He
discrimination.
printed them up on his copy. I have a little. I got one of the dot matrix prints.
Discrimination.
Right, it's discrimination, because ours is black and white,
Yeah.
his got color.
We don't have page 10.
But we used to have color-coded stuff.
We trying to
We used
hide,
to have a booklet
we
We
trying
used
to
to have a
hide all the
beautiful
money we
picture.
spending on page 10.
Beautiful book.
Y'all can't see it.
With everything on it.
So,
I'm gonna have to go find one, dig up mine, since I'm putting them shredding. I'm gonna have to dig up mine so I can show you what our books used to
Darren,
look
can you
like.
repeat what 721 is?
Huh?
721 and 727? Well, 727 is.
721 is planning, and 727 is economic development.
Thank you.
Darren, did you tell them what police asked for in a raise today? They asked
I
for.
did not.
Yeah, you're going to.
You didn't circle back to that yet.
You ain't ready for that number.
Well, I know that.
I don't know, they running.
We asked them what they want, they said they want a 45% raise.
45%? What does that dollar equal to? Over 3 years?
They asked us in the meeting, they said, what do you think about that? He said, well, after I get up off the floor and got help, from passing out. Yeah.
All I know is I hear them 24/7. They have my sympathy.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a tough
They
job.
running, I'm telling
It's a tough
you.
job.
It's a real crowd out there. These idiots don't go to sleep. And I got scared to be home when the street lights get on.
I was asking some of them too, because when you said that, like, they asked for a 45% raise. So I was asking some of the personnel, do your command or department has actually discussed or go over a breakdown of the city's budget with you? I said, because it's great to always throw the ask out there. I said, but when the city denies it and then there's no common ground to come back on, you all as employees are mad and upset. And we over here saying, how are we supposed to honor that? Because if we give police, and I'm just using this as an example, 45% raise, fire's gonna want a 45% raise as well to be made whole.
The department
And
head they should be knowing what our budget is, so they can at least.
We gotta give
They
them a
don't,
raise.
the fire department does, they really go into
I mean,
there.
that's
We
what
have
the,
to-
that's
we
what
have to try to
the,
find
I
more
mean,
grants.
police, I mean, she can tell them where our budget
They
is.
don't care about that, they want to raise.
well,
I know.
and not even them, sometimes just the unions themselves. You know, like, are they the ones presenting it? Because, I mean, when I used to be in the CWA, the union would say all this stuff, this, that, and the other. They pitched this at the company, they asked for this, asked for this, asked for that, and next thing you know, the contract was voted on. And you're like, well, wait a minute, what happened to the negotiations?
Yeah.
And it was just approved, so that's why I was just wondering.
Our employees are involved in our process. I think it's pushed more so by the employees.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 of them who are really into it, and they research it and compare to other communities and say, this is what we want.
Well, I understand.
We are underpaid too, but,
Yeah,
but we
absolutely.
got, but the, yeah. we are
I'm
full.
just saying. I feel
Okay.
sorry for
We got 4 new ones this
We
week.
got 4 new ones.
We got 4 new ones
Better
this
hope
week.
they don't transfer out.
Stop. We gotta keep these kids here.
We got 4 or 5?
5, one of them didn't pass the test, she gotta retake.
Oh, okay. All right, gotcha.
I hope she'll pass, so we'll have 5.
And,
We got some good people this year.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I saw some very positive information from West End Community News and even just residents because they posted, congratulations to the R5 officers. And in the comments, it was probably only 2 or 3 negative ones. Everybody else was leaving positive comments and saying congratulations.
From where?
West End Community News, their media outlet, posted on Facebook about our 5 officers.
I didn't know they was even covering us like that.
They will on certain stuff.
Certain stuff.
I think either you do have to, one, send it to them, and then 2, I don't know if they're actually watching because they say community news, so kind of like the surrounding
I think they do
stuff.
watch. I think they watch and they'll repost what
we
they
at
see.
now, Dan?
I think Troy posted.
so we're at 721 for planning. So we're on page 9. Jerome is I printed up page 10. Jerome is grabbing that, so we can finish the bottom of page 9. So 721 is going to be our planning department. Yep. We've got we have 2 employees that are in there. One is our city planner, and then we have like a planning assistant that's in there. I don't know how many of you guys have met Gina. She sits outside of Alicia. She's on the planning side, sits right outside of Alicia's office.
Somebody said if her name is Gina, she don't have no choice.
To be good.
To be good.
Oh, we got color.
Oh, girl, look at here.
Look, we
moving
done
up.
moved up.
Y'all moving up.
We done moved up.
Asking you shall receive.
I know, that's right, thank you.
They didn't say anything last week, not but
Kim, I was on top of it. She's like, where's my page 10?
no, they didn't say anything about the black and white last week.
Yeah, the black and white. See, look, I want yours, you got mine.
So again, that's our planning, and we've got also some consulting services in there for special projects and for our anytime we need an outside planner in there. That's the consultant that's down on that line, and then just some small costs associated with their training and workshops and everything. So moving down to 727, which is economic development. The main cost there is going to be the first right of refusal program. That's the $500,000 that you see. For the most part, that expenditure is going to be offset by revenue from the sale of that land. So we purchase the land from the county and then we sell it to the developer. So this is where we show the amount that's being sold. On the revenue side is where we show the, here's where we show the amount that we're purchasing it at. And then up top on the revenues is where we show where it's, where that money is coming back in when we sell it to the developers. So we got the money coming in from the developers to cover the cost that we pay to the county for those properties.
And we add a little administration fee.
There is an administrative
We
fee
make
on
a
that.
little something just for the time the staff has to spend on it,
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for 727. As we add on any city projects that will need to be any grant funded city projects that would need to be on the city's books, we generally add those here. We bring to you guys any grants that have to be adopted. One of the things that we are going to do in the next fiscal year is tie a specific general ledger account along with the acceptance of that grant, so that it's kind of explicit, not only that we're accepting the grant, but that you're also authorizing the expenditures. What we're going to do over the next couple of weeks is to, even though you have approved all of these grants, we want to just collect them, identify the general ledger account that's been associated with for this fiscal year, and put that on your agenda so that there's no question. Even though you did approve it, we just want to make sure that for anybody going back, taking a look, that we were very specific in terms of where those expenditures were coming out from whatever grant that you guys had approved. You know, again, because there are times, even if a grant is for another fund, because the city has to be the fiduciary, we have to reflect it on our books. So whenever we accept it, we want to make sure that we're getting down to the general ledger detail with the acceptance of the grant. Okay. Next, I wanted to pause at the Summerfest. As I discussed with you guys last week, we have plans for Summerfest next month. I think it's the third weekend in July, if I'm not mistaken.
17th, 18th, 19th.
Okay, thank you. And we do want to, we are out raising funds, but we do want to propose having some funding for the Summerfest for this for next fiscal year, because we are trying to do it as cost effectively as possible, but there will need to be some funding in addition to the we're raising funds in two ways. One is we're getting sponsorships, and we're also selling spaces for vendors. But on top of that, we're going to need about another $30,000
This year?
for this year, for this year's Summerfest. And we have this line item in general fund, and there's also a line item in Parks and Rec. And so we've been working with that. Nicole Scott is our chair for the event. Nicole Scott.
Oh, Nicole.
But we do want to get some funding so we can go ahead and move forward with the sufficient funding that we need. Again, right now we're looking at about $30,000 that's needed. There's a line item in the Parks and Rec. We may not get there this evening, but that's one option, as well as general fund, as you guys know, is limited, but there is that line item there. But we do want to make sure we present that and address it during this process.
So let me ask you this. Okay, you're saying that we're gonna need $30,000 for this year for the Summerfest. So it's gonna come out, is it on this last budget? It's gonna be a budget amendment?
No, it's going to be in July, so it's going to be next fiscal year.
New fiscal year.
Yep.
Okay, but, all right. But when you get down to the end, that's what I'm looking at.
She's got those parentheses.
Yes.
And I'm like, really?
Okay, so, and I think we're
No, I'm looking at.
a couple other things I wanted to touch upon is we've got the transfer out for Brownfield. We've had to subsidize our Brownfield debt service payments. We are at the end of that. I've been having some conversations with the consultant. My analysis is that $510,000 will not be needed next fiscal year, so we'll be able to remove that from the budget. I should have confirmation of that by Monday or Tuesday.
So that's gonna increase our budget $510,000 for next year.
Revenue side.
Revenue side.
Is going to, that's money that we don't have to send out, so it's going to save us $510,000.
Since I've been on council, we've been doing this. That is great.
Yes, yeah. So the TIFA, my research shows that one is continuing, but and again, I'll have confirmation the first part of next week, just to confirm that my analysis is correct. But that $510,000 should no longer need to be subsidized by the general fund. And just as a reminder, the bonds were initially set up so that the debt service would be done by the Brownfield via a property tax capture. Taxes went down, property taxes went down, and the city has been having to subsidize that. I believe we've made the final payment and we'll no longer need to subsidize that. The capture will just be the capture. The subsidizing is needed because of the debt service. The city basically served as the guarantor of the making sure those debt service payments got paid. So that would be $510,000 that we would be pulling back out of the proposed budget here. Okay. Now, in terms of last week we talked a little bit about the audits and kind of where we are, and moving forward, working on the FY24 and FY25 audit. We expect to get the FY24 completed by late summer, and the FY25 completed shortly thereafter, because we're kind of running on a dual track. We do have some pretty good numbers. If you go to the far left column, we have the 23-24 activity, and we've got some pretty good numbers there. These numbers are still being finalized, but we've gotten, particularly for general fund, I think we've gotten everything that we've expended in there, and we've got all the revenues that are, all the revenues have been captured. Right now, we're showing about $530,000 surplus. Now, that is very, very preliminary, but again, this is after us putting all of the cost in. The one factor is we do have a lot of grant funds. If you guys will recall, when this council's term started, one of the things that we had as a top priority is that we had a lot of overdue grants that had not been collected. And so we've been collecting those things through FY24 and FY25, catching up on all those back due grants. Now it's just a matter of what year they're going to apply those grants to. But based on kind of our pre-audit work, these are kind of the preliminary numbers. Again, that's subject to change, but as you can see, based on these numbers, we had the, we were in the negative with the fund balance, and then with these preliminary numbers, that's getting us back to a very, very small but positive fund balance for the general fund.
So that would be the 293,000?
No, I'm on the far left column.
Oh, you're on the far left.
I'm on the far left column. So for FY24, 23-24, right now we're showing a surplus of 530,000. Which we started with a fund balance of about 400,000, and based on those numbers, we would be at 129,000. And I think I was just looking at it before we met, because there was something going on with that that fund balance. I thought our fund balance was coming out of FY23 was lower than that. Okay, so we had, coming out of, for general fund, coming out of FY23, we had the fund balance at 348,000. This one shows a little bit higher number, 401. But again, as we are kind of wrapping up FY24, moving some things around, that number can change. And so even with the higher number than what we had at the last audit, our negative fund balance was 328. Or 348. This one shows a negative 401. But even with that number, again, with the current projections, we're showing us getting back into a small positive for FY24. After that, we're still dealing with getting the data cleaned up and everything. So those numbers are just kind of, after that, is somewhat of a moving target. We'll have a better handle on FY25 probably in about 60 days. As we start, we're starting to go through and make sure we've gotten all the costs captured, got all the revenues allocated and everything. We're literally moving things around now. We've been working on that this week, getting reallocating some things amongst general ledger accounts. So that's a very moving target. I know that we're showing for FY '24 about 13 million in revenues, and that number's off because we're having to move around some of the revenues. But again, I think it's a good sign that, we're not showing for FY '24, and I know we've got almost everything captured right now in there. We're not showing, showing anything in the red for that fiscal year.
So are we still in the deficit elimination plan with the state?
Yeah, technically we're still under the deficit elimination plan. Yes.
So now, not trying to. Let me see what I'm trying to say. Okay, being on how I was here when we was in the deficit elimination plan, and it wasn't pretty, whatever. So if we're gonna do the summer fest and we gotta give 30,000, and I know we're trying to raise money, how does that look when we do our deficit elimination plan to the state?
So my suggestion would be, we have a Parks and Recreation fund. I would consider this Summerfest to be part of the programming for Parks and Recreation. When you look at other cities, when they put on festivals and the like, they will fund that out of Parks and Recreation. My recommendation would be for us to take that money out of Parks and Recreation.
Okay, so if general fund needed $30,000, we can take it out of, I know it's some funds that we can move around and some funds are.
No, I'm saying we authorized the $30,000 out of the Parks and Rec budget.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Can we see that first before we cause you're
Yeah.
saying
And this is what I'm saying, and I know everybody you're trying to clean it up. It's been messed up, I understand that. But at the same time, it's a lot of reports that we used to get, so we can kind of know, the budget to actuals. Mm-hmm. And I know he's busy. Can we add another person so we can?
So it's not a question of, and I tried to address this last week. So the idea is we will be able to start in next fiscal year in August. We will be able to start with the July, because we have not had consistent and clean numbers.
Right.
We weren't in a position to give that information. Now we've gotten up through FY '24. We should be up through FY '25 within the next 60 days. FY '26 is a lot cleaner. And so we didn't have the information in here that we could give you to say, hey, here's a budget to actual, here's a comparison. Because we look at the budget to actual, and we look at this year compared to last year. And we just didn't, that information just was not available.
And I understand that, because like I said, a lot of things was messed up. But we still approving stuff, we still spending money, and we don't know where we at.
Yeah, so we
in the cloud right now.
Yeah. So we bring the annual budget, and our objective is to stick to that. But by and large, we're just trying to manage what we're doing from an operational standpoint. That's why we've been very limited in terms of anything that we've spent outside of expenses related to it on a day-to-day basis. We haven't done a lot of long-term capital spending. We've been fortunate that we've been able to capture those things via grants and the like. But by and large, we've been just maintaining our services from a cost standpoint at the current level and trying to run that as efficiently as possible, while we're trying to do two things. One, we're trying to get caught up on that financial information, and then trying to operate as efficiently as we possibly can. And that's where Chief K's not here anymore, but if you look at our two biggest cost centers in general fund, it's police and fire. And so if we're going to try and save money, it really would be coming at the cost of public safety, and that's not something that we want to do. So we're just trying to utilize it as effectively as we can. Managing it, looking at it closely, managing the expenses, and we're not the only entity, the only city or entity that's in a similar situation. And, you know, once you kind of get off track, it takes time. It takes time to get back on track. And a lot of time and money outside of our department. I mean, we've been paying our accounting consultants a lot of money to, you know, and they're dealing with stuff from 23 and 24 and 25. You know, we're almost halfway through 26, and we're cleaning up data from two and a half years ago. And so it's just the, you know, it's the reality of, you know, once you kind of get off track, it's going to take time to get back on. So as I said, you know, I think the, you know, fact that we've, you know, gotten through 23, 24, the preliminary figures appear to be, you know, pretty good. You know, we're continuing to work on that. Over the next 60 days, I think we'll have a better handle on 24 and 25. Working on getting all that data cleaned up. Some of that's going to, you know, be moved around between fiscal years, but I think we've got a pretty good process in place to get those things captured and identified, so that come August, we'll be in a position where we can start restart that financial reporting, because we'll have the information available to us. 25 and 26, particularly like the last 7 months or so for FY 26, has been a lot better. We've made some changes. As I mentioned, we split the accounts payable and payroll. We've been really diligent about documenting all of our expenditures, going back, capturing, because part of one of the challenges, we had a lot of transactions going through the bank account, things that were authorized, but they weren't being captured timely and accurately. We've been rectifying that, along with making sure things are put into the right category at the time that we incur the expenditure. That's one of the other big findings that we've had, is that things, authorized expenditures, were not just being put into the correct category.
And this is something that's off the record, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, off the record, not dealing with this, but in our charter, is this something that we can put in there? Because the mayor is the daily operation. But what if the mayor put people in place like we had that wasn't qualified? So we need to put something in that charter to protect the city at all costs.
Well, we got it. We got a veto power. The council has veto power that they never use.
Oh, he tried.
So if I hire Bozo the Clown to be the treasurer, you can veto that.
Yeah, right. But sometimes, I mean, we're not didn't use it.
You said amend the charter.
Huh?
You talking about amending the charter?
No, he's saying we have veto
No, I know
problems.
what you're talking about, putting something.
But
in
yeah,
the charter.
something to protect, not for me, but something to protect the city where we won't have to go through what we're going through right now. And it's been a mess.
The problem is the reality is, like, the mayor, especially if he comes in and has good relationships on the council, which the last mayor had good relationships on council, except for 2 people, you know, you typically follow the mayor's lead. Now, the mayor leads you down the wrong road.
And no matter how much we argue, you know, because, I mean, you know, not saying because people are not here, but the most important person in here is that treasurer.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that.
The problem is it's so hard. First of all, treasurers don't grow on trees.
No, they don't. And
You
it's
know,
cost.
Even if you can count, it doesn't mean you can be a municipal treasurer.
Correct.
Because there's only so many jobs, there's only so much experience, you know. So when you're reaching and you're hiring people who are not even working in that sector.
So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really matter if we veto something. Something needs to be in that charter to protect the city. To protect the city.
It's
But
hard.
you're still talking about,
Amending
we have to amend the charter.
We can
You
amend
just can't
it.
put nothing in
You
the
can
charter.
do 1 or 2
I know we
things
can,
without
we
the
can't
charter
just put in
commission.
there, but we need
then we're talking about
to sit
adopting.
down with the charter
Put that
commission or
30,000
whatever and try to
That's gonna take
amend
time.
I mean,
I don't have anything.
it may take
You can
time,
amend up
but
to 2 or 3 things without the charter
I
commission.
didn't think it was a good idea.
Like 2/3 voted, we said, hey, we want to put some sort of certain things you can't do.
And I think
For
there's
elected
an
positions,
argument, because we've been
you
doing
can't
a lot.
put requirements for the mayor. Because a lot of people say, well, let's require the mayor to have a bachelor's degree or something.
no, but I'm just saying,
You can't do that.
but employees working in essential that keeps our city
That would've
running.
needed to
But
have gone
even if
there.
you put qualifications, like our last
Got
treasurer,
over $1 million.
he had a master's degree in accounting.
I feel like that.
But he
Well,
just
you
never
get-
worked, he never worked
Worked
in
in
government,
municipal-
you know, so,
right.
so what
I
kind,
don't
what
know.
kind of qualifications you gonna put in there?
Chair, you, too many conversations.
Oh, all right, hold on one second, guys. We got 3 conversations going
Yeah,
on.
but I mean, I
All right,
don't know,
so-
what can we do to protect the city going forward? Because,
Hold on, where are we at on the agenda? Because you were done with this part, right?
Done with, that was it for
and I
general
just,
fund.
and I still had the report, so I was just
Yeah,
asking
no,
a
you good.
question. You know, something that we can put in place to protect the city from this ever happening again.
But you think, well, let's say you said, okay, if the mayor hires certain positions, treasurers, do they have to get ratification from city council? But would that help? So like if Joe Blow comes in here as the treasurer?
Yeah.
Would that help? You don't know him, you reading the resume, you won't know by reading the resume whether they know what they're doing.
Isn't that what HR is for, to give like guidelines?
Council used to look at resumes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you can have guidelines, but
To say they need to have X amount of years of experience, X amount of years handling municipal finance.
We used to have all of that. We used to have all of that. We had, what was that, Jerome, that we used to have? That for every department, we would have, I don't know if you have that now.
we still got the salaries and the, yeah.
The
we-
salaries.
I was talking about his first year, we had salaries and job descriptions.
Yeah, we
And
have,
we had job description.
But if you hire somebody, it doesn't mean they qualify.
They qualify for
you
that.
know,
We have had us revamp all our job descriptions,
Yeah.
brought them up to code, up to this standard code and salary, so we have that.
We have that in
HR
place.
has that.
Are you trying to prevent what happened like last administration?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm
How do you
saying.
stop the mayor from hiring somebody who's not
That's what I'm about
competent?
to say. All of it doesn't matter if you don't have a majority vote to outrule or go against what the
And
mayor's
that's why I'm
trying to do.
saying maybe we can try to amend it
But
for
it's hard.
something.
Like save
But
us
it's
from
already in
ourselves?
there. If you have veto power, then technically
But
it's
if
already
you
there,
can
right?
have veto powers, but if you don't have 7 to veto, I mean, if you don't have all of us to veto, that veto is nothing.
Kinda like
But the
protect
veto
us
is
from.
majority, right?
You need
Yeah,
4.
You need 4, but if you don't have 4, you out.
She's trying to
But then-
protect us from us, cause
That's it. You're trying to protect yourself from yourself, but then
Yeah.
at the same time, if you're saying if 4 people can't agree to do what's right, well then, doesn't that take away from the whole quorum aspect of everything? If we can't get 4 people that's been elected to sit up
That's
here
true.
and make the
It's
best decision for the
democracy.
city,
yeah.
we want to set something in play to overrule them,
There's
or
no such
overrule
thing.
ourselves.
There's no
You
such
know what I'm
thing.
saying?
You can't overrule yourself.
Yeah.
So, no. I mean, you can overrule the mayor if he
Process.
That-
Exactly.
And I don't think it's ever happened.
No.
I mean, y'all almost got me one time, though. I never forget.
When was that?
When?
Y'all almost got me.
I never
When?
get it.
I've never
been.
Tell me.
When I hired a certain Parks and Recs director,
That was your first time.
the first
First,
time.
oh.
Look, everybody on council turned and looked at me because they did not like my decision. And out of respect for me, they didn't veto me, but they had the votes. And it turned out they were right.
Yeah.
When you know, later on, we found out that they were actually, that would have been a good decision.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm saying? You know, because we've had problems in Parks and Recs. It's not just one person, or people skimming money and
Yes,
doing
now
stuff.
We don't know who it is.
You know, and you talk about embarrassed. And each one of them came to me and said, I told you not to do it. And I couldn't say nothing. You know, I was like, you're right.
I just feel like that's kind of like an HR thing, you know what I mean? Because not every person comes before us anyway for hiring. So then we would have to like, even in the charter, like the only people we really approve are like with the treasurer and the attorney.
Attorney.
So
And the
we'd
clerk.
almost have to like pull resumes and be like, oh, we don't like him,
No,
and
you
now
don't
we have
approve
to
the
go
treasurer.
through.
You got the clerk and the city attorney. That's it.
That's the only
That's
thing
it,
we
but that's
have.
what I'm saying. Like,
That's the only thing I'm saying.
so I understand what you're trying to say, but you would have to like they said, like amend it, the charter to almost bring every like department head in front of council
Or the
in
key
order
ones.
to approve. Yeah.
I mean, DPS is key, treasurer is
Yeah.
key.
Yeah.
You know, that you could say, okay, council's gonna hire them, not the mayor. You can do that.
Yeah.
Because we used to hire.
We only
before
have,
we
like,
had
2 more
strong former
amendments
mayor.
before
We
we
used to
can.
hire. We used to have resumes
had
for the
city
city
manager.
city
It's a
manager.
waste of
You
money.
signed the city manager, but he hired everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can stay.
And how can we?
And I'm not in the mix.
No, all you can do is fire. All you can do is fire the city manager. You can't say, city manager can hire whatever treasurer you wanted to.
Yeah, but we
You-
can fire.
You
the
had
ci-
no,
we-
you
we
can
can
fire.
We
You
can fire the city
They
manager.
did fire the city.
And I think because of,
But
yeah.
still,
But I think that, I mean, but even so, you know, like you said, treasurer, HR, you know, because we have had not even good HRs.
Yeah, sometimes.
These are
You know what I'm
conversations that
saying?
we're gonna have to have because I think you're technically like the third term under the strong mayor.
It is.
So it's like, these are kind of growing pains that are gonna come with our newer form of government that we chose with the charter.
And then it's
so.
hard because each election, some people feel, you know, the employees, you know, some may leave, some may stay. Some, you know what I'm saying? So we got a turnover.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't help the city at all.
Turnover on the council too.
Mostly on appointees. The people who got unions and,
I say this though, coming from another city, not just here, that's common.
That's common, yeah.
Because when a new mayor comes in.
He bring his people in or whatever, yeah.
Or he decides to keep the people, some people we have there, some people, he has to let go.
So just have to pray. Just have to pray.
You'll never change that.
Yeah.
Because the appointee serves at the pleasure of the mayor. So he has the final say on who his appointed staff is.
I have a question.
And in critical areas, he really needs.
Ma'am?
That's his job.
I'm sorry, I got off the subject, I'm sorry, y'all.
I do have a question. Like when we, okay, my question, you know, like when we have people that come before us, like housing and different ones asking for money for whatever, where does the expense, where does that money come from?
Well, it'll just depend on the particular ask. So.
I mean, out of which, where?
I think historically, that was what I asked for the first meeting. It came out of like council funds or like, cause it was like 1,600 we gave for Easter egg baskets.
Oh, yeah,
We
you're
were
talking
like,
about
"Where'd this
something
come
like
from?"
that?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
council
Yeah, so
funds.
it'll depend upon the request and generally, you know, we'll make sure that it's clear, like, with the request. It's like, I think it was a Christmas party or something for housing, and it was saying, hey,
Easter egg.
Back to school,
I'm sorry, what was that?
I mean, they have multiple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Backpack for kids.
Yeah, so you know, so it'll just depend upon who's making the request, where it needs to come out of. Community policing does a lot. You know, there's the community policing fund. They cover the National Night Out, the Easter egg. They cover the cost of the float for the
Memorial Day Parade.
the Memorial Day Parade. Thank you. So it's kind of
All just depends
event
on
specific.
What type of, the event
Yeah.
it is, where you can take the money from.
So then are you finished? I'm sorry.
Just one thing about the Summerfest, so you're submitting funding for that?
Yeah, so my recommendation is that it comes out of the Parks and Rec
Parks and
fund. And the reason being is because I think it's two things. One is because of, Parks and Rec has not had a lot of programming. This
Okay.
is kind of a recreation. This is the types of things that, Parks and Rec departments around metropolitan Detroit, around the state, these are the types of things that they do. So we want to, look at doing some programming because it does provide a recreation outlet for the city's residents. And then secondly, particularly over the last fiscal year and going into next fiscal year, we've gotten a lot of money for the Parks and Rec department. We're renovating a park, Wheatley Park, where we've just replaced the roof for $500,000. We're putting in a new HVAC system.
Question. So when you're talking about like Wheatley Park, and are you going to be going through, I assume there's various other parks throughout the city? Are you
I mean, right now, there's no plan on that right now in this budget. But again, the thinking is because we've covered a lot of things that the Parks and Rec Fund is benefiting from, taking $30,000 out of there because we've basically avoided $1 million worth of costs by that fund.
The money that you're talking about for the Summerfest, what are we doing rides and?
So-
Could you tell me a little bit what?
Yeah, so it's primarily focused around the music.
Music?
The music. So Friday is kind of a hip hop focus night. Saturday is like more R&B and jazz kind of thing, And then Sunday is generally like
Gospel.
gospel. Thank you.
So we're paying people to perform?
Paying people to perform, and then also paying like the stage, the sound, engineering, those types of costs. Fencing, porta potties, those are kind of I would say the main cost for that.
So we do have extra policing for that?
There's policing, DPS also.
sheriff?
Primarily our police officers, I believe, Inkster Police and our reserve officers.
That's it?
I believe so, yes.
When, if you ask for a sheriff or a state, is that extra?
I don't know. Jerome, do you know the answer to that, Councilwoman's question? About support for security for Summerfest by Wayne County Sheriff?
No, it's not
No,
that.
we don't cover costs for that.
They send the reserves.
They send their reserves?
I mean, you gotta remember too, Summerfest is on Easter Road.
I know.
I mean, it's in our
Okay,
city, so that's the way the county rolls.
It's their jurisdiction.
It's their jurisdiction.
okay. I'm just asking because you got so many kids now running wild.
They come.
Oh, we're gonna be deep, especially on Friday night.
I'm just
Friday and
saying,
Saturday.
and Sunday, whatever, it don't matter with them.
Sheriff said they're gonna support, right?
Okay, sheriff gonna support. What kind of gummies you over here eating? You getting high? What you doing?
Skittle gum.
He taking his son, his son's candy.
Related to the budget.
Discretionary fund.
Well, there's a.
So Councilwoman, that was kind of the thinking with the Summerfest.
Okay, I just wanted to have clarity.
And then the one other thing that I did not cover, there will be some activities geared towards kids.
I mean, are you having rides?
I don't think we're doing carnival rides, but I don't know,
Ride?
like
What?
bounce houses or something like that. I don't know what, but I know generally we do have things geared towards the kids.
At the Summerfest?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, we have a little kids area, right?
yes, yeah.
kitty area?
Real
You
quick.
having it?
You're in charge of it this year.
Anybody else got any budget
You
time
got the
questions real
youngest
quick?
kid. over
We
there.
finished with this one, right?
Yes.
I do have I want to add to the
Okay,
general
I'm
fund.
done, baby, go ahead.
That application, I'm gonna bring it back up since, Councilwoman, Deotrice brought it up. Can we put like 10 to 15 max in the budget for, community events sponsored by the city? And then we can make it an application process, like we talked about, spread the love to everyone. It'll just kind of, I think, cover our butts, so then it kind of eliminates like these asks every year, and then people are like, well, you got to know somebody to get money. It's like, no, just submit the application. It opens July 10th or whatever, and then we select, either throughout the year or in the beginning of the year. Like, y'all should kind of know, what you're gonna have for the year anyway.
I got
Go ahead.
an addition to that.
Okay.
Since of what you said, it depends on the event and where the funds come from, correct?
Yes.
So, with that being said, does it directly need to go into the budget? How much funds we're going to allocate for events? Or can that just be something we outline? You feel what I'm saying? We say, hey, this is what we're gonna contribute this much. That way we don't directly limit it to a certain budget. You get what I'm saying?
Well, as long as it's if it's general fund, like sometimes at the end of the day, the general fund, it doesn't matter. Yeah, because like we just try and apply it to the specific department. But if we know, hey, this $10,000, we can find somewhere to put it. It's labeled as a general fund item. All those things will come out. Those types of things will come out of there, and that would be it. Now, because there's not really any set money for an Easter egg hunt or Christmas party or something like that, we try to find where it can best go. But if we just say, hey, this is $10,000 for these types of events, Halloween and that kind of stuff. Halloween's a little bit different. We usually do that via the rec center. But if there's something that needs to get done from a community standpoint, then I think it would be best just to set aside that money, have it in a general fund, and like everything's going to flow through there.
Okay.
Because even just for like, let's say Inkster Housing, like if we were like, okay, Inkster Housing, y'all get $3,000 for the year, $5,000 for the year, like, do what y'all have to do, do what you have to do. We're helping support, our events, because these are our residents, these are our kids. But like, you know, whether you spend $1,600 on Easter egg or $2,000 on, you know, your Christmas party, like, that's not our business. But you know what I mean? Like, this is what we're contributing for the year.
I think it is our business.
You said what?
It is our business.
And how they utilize it?
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
Gotta use it the right way, though.
you're right,
We
okay.
gotta
So,
do
I mean,
some-
obviously you can put parameters behind it, and it's for community events, but do we ask them to come in front of us every community event to support our like, they are our residents? you
We
know
can,
what I
we can
mean?
eliminate that. I mean, I like the idea of having set amount, and then people apply, and it's the same people coming every year for the same events.
Exactly.
So if we decide this is what we giving, and that's that.
Yeah.
You know,
Only reason I say that because some of the loans and grants committees I've sat on, especially like for the Episcopal Church, like there's millions of dollars to divvy out for different stuff. But they spell it, they want it spelled all out because like I sit on one trust fund and we know where every dollar is allocated because if someone says, well, we decided not to fund this particular part, well, where's that $2,000 go to?
Yeah,
You know, are
that's
you
fair.
looking to roll that over? Are you gonna send that back? Are you just gonna spend it and not tell us? And
Fiscal
then,
year, yeah.
that's where it could be a problem.
That's
Right.
fair. Okay, I hear you.
'Cause
So, but that's what I would like to propose.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's more in like the, how we implement it. And we can work on that,
Okay.
like,
But
you
yeah,
know,
just for the budget purpose.
budget, yeah.
Can we
so-
put some money aside? And I just want to like agree, 'cause I know I mentioned it last time, but since we're wrapping up the general fund, like, I just want to agree on the amount, whether it's like 10, whether it's 15, whether it's 5, for all I care. Like, I just want to agree, so.
so the application, like have y'all started working on that yet?
No, I just wanted to get it approved first. I didn't want to start
Gotcha.
something, waste my time, and then we say no.
Oh, I I was just gonna say too, like a follow up with that financially, you know, just ask for like it's required that they provide a report of everything because in the following year you can always say, well, this is what they do, and it's great. We see this, boom, and we good with funding it again the following year. But if it's something that's just like, oh, this was terrible, and we gave you how much money, and y'all trying to do this again, like we need to hold
I don't want
on.
to make it more work for other people. I just know, like, I mean, we all know my mom, my family business, but like, when we apply for money, especially from municipalities, they ask us to provide like, just kind of like use of funds, like, you know, like how many people did it serve, like, you know, if you bought the food, like kind of provide those kind of, if you are a nonprofit, provide your letter, like all those different things, just to make a process and just to, cause you know, everybody have a nonprofit, but is it in good standing, you know, like, so we can have those requirements in place just to kind of also help ourselves, you know.
You give the non-nonprofits, because Inkster Housing ain't no
Get to
nonprofit.
yeah, I mean,
Residents Council.
or I was gonna say like,
It's just-
you know, and we can give but it's just if you're gonna claim you're a nonprofit, then be a nonprofit. If you're gonna claim you're a 501, then maybe we can get the write-off. I don't know, but like it's just
You know,
to
we need to
have
talk-
the proper documentation when it comes to those.
We need to talk about too, because, you know, Inkster Housing gives Residents Council money every year too. I mean, so,
Right,
you
that's
know,
true.
even though they are residents, they have their own funding.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's not like it's millions of dollars, but
Right. 100%.
we got to decide what we want to fund, what we don't want to fund.
Exactly.
I feel like that's what's gonna be the hard part.
That's
It's
what-
easy to figure out, okay, we're gonna set aside this much money. Then the hard part becomes, who we about to say no to?
No to.
But I think also too
Give
then.
them a budget. You can always,
That's true.
this is what, like she's saying, $2,000. That's all we gotta allocate, cause we got too many nonprofits in the city.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, or we can have like, oh my God, the word is skipping me, but pretty much like we can have our targets like for each year. So if we're like, if we want to give back to, I don't know, like kid-based events. I mean, usually they are all kid-based events, but like then that's that funding for this year. If the next funding is, you know, like parks, you know what I mean? Like we can kind of talk about like each council person has the things that they care about. And so if mine is after school activities and we want to give to We Rise more money this year than we do give Inkster Housing, then like that can be our prerogative to do so, you know, but I just would prefer, and like, I mean, obviously no shot, please, like y'all in the recording to Inkster High, you know, picnic, but so we can know, you know what I mean? Like when you come and ask, we can know you know what I mean? Every year, and then we can say.
We
we have
always
a
help out with the
501c3.
event, but it's, we bought the lights and we put the fence up, and we do certain garbage cans, but we don't get money, do we? I mean, that is real.
I mean, that is money, right?
Lights are real money.
Yeah, right, that's real
Lights is
money.
We just
So we
giving
do
out
have a
the
nonprofit though.
Yeah, and it's nothing wrong with it, but I feel like that's the things that we need to keep better track of. It's even in kind has a dollar amount behind it that costs the city something. You know what I mean? So and then if they ask for in kind stuff, you probably get approved a lot faster than it is, financially. So I'm off my soapbox, yeah, but
Do we give to the good fellows?
yeah, we usually
Do we give money?
I don't think we give directly.
Yeah, personally.
individually we do.
Well, I mean, you gotta buy tickets and
Okay, right.
pancake breakfast, but there's a lot of
Steven,
funds.
him and Steven.
You do like you do housing. just
We give to the good fellas, we stand out there and freeze.
Him and Steven. And his Steven's mom. out there.
We sorry.
No, great conversation. So that's it for general fund. I do have, and
One more thing
Yes.
before I forget, because you know I'm senior. This Wayne Westland School thing about the grads, I have a problem with that. I mean, because we give, what we do,
Wait a minute,
what's
wait a minute,
supposed to
wait a
be
minute,
Wayne
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a
Westland.
minute.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Your council, comments.
Communication.
Because if we didn't put this on the note, we can't even discuss
Right,
it.
we can't discuss it.
All right, so is that it for the budget,
Oh,
everybody?
you didn't add it, okay.
Does that come out the budget though? Is that part of the budget?
She didn't ask for no money this year. She asked for
No,
no.
she missed it, but every year we were giving something. Is that part in our budget?
We spent some money last year.
I don't recall.
We gave him pens or something. We did, it wasn't much. No, I paid.
You paid for it, and then the
spent
other,
money individually.
the other stuff was individual asks.
But these
I
are the
got the cake,
things,
she got the juices.
yeah,
Yeah,
these are the things that we can allocate in this fund, so we don't have to,
Okay.
come out our own pockets, spend
Okay.
our $600.
All right. So that's it for general fund. It's 8:18 or 12 minutes from tip-off, depending on how you look at it.
He's like,
And so we've got, we can put a pause right here, put a pin in it. We got the road funds left and the water fund. Those are going to be the three biggest ones. Road funds, I don't think we'll be spending a lot of time on that. The water fund, will take some time, but I think we can get everything covered in one session. And then Parks and Rec, that's the other one. So I think we've pretty much gotten all those numbers in, so we can get that sent out to you along with colored copies of this here.
You spending more money.
But I think we'll just need one more session for us to get completed here.
and we do.
Now, we're under the gun. At the next meeting, we have to approve a budget.
Yeah.
So,
We do Monday the 8th at 6 p.m.
it's Monday.
Yes.
Monday the 8th.
That's when our next.
That's next Monday.
That's Monday at 6 p.m.
Council's week after that,
Week after.
15.
The 15th.
So Monday, that's for our study session?
Not do it early.
That's what y'all got to
You
do.
do it early.
I can do it earlier.
What is early?
5,
Kim, don't you want?
5,
got a job.
4.
4.
I mean, it don't matter, because, I can get you can start early, because I can just get my stuff and go through it. So it don't matter with me.
Only reason I say that because when we get to it, every time we get to the waterfront, y'all be tired.
And that's when we used to have, we used to have it on Saturdays when everybody was sharp. But
Yeah,
I
in the
know-
morning.
In the morning. We used to have our budget meetings in the morning on Saturday because everybody is, I mean, because you saying no.
Right, it's like.
But you saying no, but just think about the people, like you said, you get up and at a certain point in time in the day, your brain checks out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he's still young. His brain knows.
Yeah, he don't care.
He got a 2-year-old to get him.
Right. But that's when we used to have our best times, because everybody was fresh in the morning, they didn't have to work or whatever, but.
So we
No,
doing Monday the 8th.
I ain't suggesting it, don't be.
What time?
What time?
Can we
Monday
do
the
5?
8th.
I'm gonna go with 5.
Then we do 5.
5, so I can notice it up.
Yeah, that's
You can
fine.
be there, I'm gonna be late, and it depends on when I get off, but go ahead. I'm not gonna hold you
I'll
up.
notice it up for Monday the 8th at 5 p.m.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you
So,
again.
Thank you.
What you bringing, Lindsay?
It's Freddie's turn.
Let's
We're in charge of the food Monday.
let's go ahead and complete the agenda real quick.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
All right, so we're down to item number 4, public participation. We have anybody from the general public that wishes to speak at this time? Madam Clerk, do we have any?
No, we did not.
Public comment submissions, okay. No public comment submissions. Moving down to item number 5, mayor and council communications. Anybody to my left at this time have anything for mayor and council communications?
No, I was just saying from the last communication about the Westland, if we open it up for graduates, we have to do all graduates.
You can do everybody.
In Inkster. That's my comment.
Okay.
Not just one district.
We could do that.
Anybody else to my left? Oh,
Not this time.
not this time. Anybody to my right? Just 2 things real quick, guys. Board of Commissions bylaws ask went out today. So if you received an email, that's because you're on a board or commission or multiple ones. And we're just trying to document that, put all in the OneDrive. Some things have been updated and some things are updated and adopted and they did not get submitted to the clerk's office or they weren't digitized, let's put it that way. And unfortunately, people have transitioned in and out, whether it was life or death or they moved on to a different community and we can't find what we need. So if you did get that email, please respond to it as best you can. If not, let me know. I'll just forward it to all of you guys as well.
You gotta give me a city phone then.
4.
You want some equipment?
Right.
On the phone now? Okay.
She moving up.
You guys changed your email and all of that. I have to have it on the phone.
Everybody
Then
changed.
On my calendar, I have a different phone number.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
With all the boards and commissions, if their bylaws is over 10 years old, can it be suggested that they be updated?
Absolutely.
Should be.
And follow some of the protocol and Robert Rules of Order?
And the state statute.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we gotta get the DDA and the TIFA going again.
Please do.
Even though they
I
don't
thought you
capture.
picked those, though. It wasn't the charter say down, because
I think we all picked some
I
of them.
thought the mayor was in charge of the DDA back in my day.
It
What
just,
is it
it
now?
just died. I don't know.
It
Yeah,
just
we
died,
need that.
so you're just gonna bring it,
And with the-
just council and mayor?
You're gonna have to look into it a little more. 'Cause
I asked some questions about that, and I think there's something that's keeping that, like, some type of either like debt or something like that.
I know TIFA's broke.
TIFA
So
or
TIFA
DDA?
has
That's
no money.
I feel like it's like something along something. Ask Sade. She'll give you the answer.
TIFA is supposed to raise money for the city.
I think it is both.
We pay TIFA's bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what was part of the problem. But
We can get in there and get it going though.
We gotta get somebody who knows what to do. Like the
Yeah.
other communities, they do like signs on the bridge and
Yeah.
walkways, and they raise money and they actually do stuff. Our TIFA, as far as I can go back, it's never really,
So do the Tiffin district, they do pay more, a little bit more in taxes though, correct?
they pay.
What was that?
It's who? That was it, yeah. So we.
And we're paying that bill, and we're paying that bill.
And we paying that bill, right? So they're not existing, but the people, they still paying the higher.
Oh, yeah, it's getting, well, it should be getting, we should have captures. Right. You know, it's pennies, because again, we're paying the bill.
Right.
But when Michigan Avenue gets completely developed, then it should be more money coming.
Yeah, coming in.
Oh, and I got a presentation for our next meeting about the Michigan Avenue Corridor Coalition. I met with the other mayors, we were up in Mackinac last week. So I want to lay out everything that we're talking about doing so we're aware. You don't have to vote on anything. But we're at the point now where we need to form an authority with the other communities. And we need to appoint someone, probably from this body, to sit on the authority for Inkster, to make sure that we get what we need resources-wise. And I think we're going to benefit more than the other community, because we're underdeveloped.
We underdeveloped.
We're going to win in this one if we get this going. So the attorney's in place, Plant Moran is working on it. We have opportunity to do very well with this authority.
That's good.
The only other thing was the email that went out regarding IHC requesting them to meet with us. So you guys get a chance, take a look at that email. so we can sit down and get together and have that.
Have a little joint
Public
meeting. I did
overview.
talk to the chair today, so I feel a little better. I heard from his perspective, but we should still get a report of what's going on. They have over $200 million in development going on. So we need to just kind of keep our finger on it. And I told him, I said, you're not using us as a resource as well as you can. With these hiring, firing decisions and these development deals, like, we didn't even get asked to read it over, nothing, And I think they took a little bit in the development deal, but it's already a done deal. So we don't want to blow it up in the community because that's a bad look for us.
Do they have a director now?
No. They're going through the process now, so they're getting ready to hire somebody soon, and that was part of the discussion we had too. But, I mean, I feel better now that he talked to me. There was a lack of communication going back and forth, and people telling you this and that, and he has a different perspective, and they doing this because it's hard when lay people are running something that big. Who's done a $200 million development deal? I haven't. That's a 5 people, that's a layperson board. And now we're asking them to hire executive director. We've been through 5 executive directors in 10 years. I mean, we're not doing a good job at that.
So what's like our authority over?
Well, we can remove the board, that's all we can do.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't have anything to do with the day-to-day, we have nothing to do with their money. I talked to the feds, it's like, well, can we bring it under the City of Inkster and make it another department? They said absolutely not. You have to keep it separate, they don't do that. Because I thought it would function better maybe if the executive director reported to me as any other department head. And then they'd be subject to us. But we cannot do that. So all we can do is appoint the board.
You appoint.
I appoint the board. But I can't do it without y'all. So, I mean, it's tough because it's a volunteer position. We're asking them to make $1 million decisions.
Right.
That was my worry when I saw the email, and I'm, pleasantly surprised by the, email responses, but it's kind of like, I was expecting them to be like, that's not your place. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like.
But they can't say that.
You know what I mean?
We can take
it is our place, yeah, but.
Oh, we've done it
it's not
before.
our place, like,
I mean, we did it once before.
I was looking into it before I sent the email out just to see what to say. And the first step you want to do is move forward with inviting.
Yeah.
If the invitation gets denounced, then you invoke your power of subpoenaing them because that's when we become the oversight committee.
Well, last time we asked for a report.
Right.
And this is back when Ernie was the president of the board, and they said, screw you, essentially. We don't report to you, and they didn't come. And we removed the board that night. So, you don't have to, we can't make you come.
Yeah.
But we can remove you. It's not like they lost some money or something, but, they were removed, we appointed a new board, and, we kept moving. And I wasn't mad at them. I was like, you have a right not to come, but if you're not gonna come talk to us when I ask you to, then you're not gonna serve. I mean,
That's fair. Okay. I'm just asking.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay, the queen has spoken. What you doing, boo? You moving to adjourn?
I was going to say we're down to item number 6, so
Okay,
that was a motion.
that was a weird motion.
It was,
Was it?
Was it a motion?
You know I move. Go ahead. I moved to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The time is 8:30. This meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.
You gotta condemn it.